What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Recorded Between the Lines. This is going to be episode 2. Now, before I do get started, this wasn't my ideal setup. My ideal setup was to be outside, getting a view of those mountains there. A better view, a more wide view. But the wind where I'm at had other plans. So we're doing it here. I'm not going to let a little wind or strong winds stop me from recording episode 2, especially when I'm just getting started. You know what I mean? So there's that. Anyway, the last episode was talking about how I started the podcast in our reality and why I wanted to start the podcast. So for like this episode, I want to talk a little bit more about myself in regards to like my work experience or even my education, just so you guys can get a better understanding of who I am, hopefully. So not like a whole life story, just like bits and pieces, I guess, of different jobs I had, which probably got me to who I am now. You know what I mean? So starting with high school. There was a program that allowed junior and senior year students to join and be able to get a head start like on their career, or interest. I'm not sure which one it was. For me, I thought it was a career. At least, things change. Anyway, there was like firefighter, there was nursing, there was auto mechanics. There was cooking, I think it was, like culinary arts, and there was also hospitality management, which is what I chose to do. Mainly for the reason because I've always wanted to own my own business, more specifically a cafe. And I was like, there's other coffee companies out there, really big ones. And I'm like, I feel like I can do better. And yeah, here I am. Anyway, so I started college courses a little early than normal. I think maybe throughout my junior year and senior year of high school, I probably had about, I want to say like 6 classes. And at the end of the program, I ended up getting like a hospitality management certificate, and I actually had a lot of credits. I think it was like maybe 40 to 50 credits, maybe less. I could be exaggerating. I don't remember. This was years ago. I don't remember. But anyway, I really thought that was the direction I was going to go into, was just hospitality. So I ended up working at a couple restaurants, and I even got a chance to work at a resort. And the biggest thing that I really enjoyed was interacting with people at the time, being able to serve people, being able to like see people smile. I mean, who doesn't love food, So that was like a really good way for me to get in there and, I don't know, like help people in a way. I don't really know how to describe it, but that's just like the best way I can describe it, is like how people make people smile, make people happy in all reality. So I really thought that was like a pretty damn good, clear idea of what I wanted to do. So I probably spent about 5 years in like that hospitality industry, and I got kind of bored of it. It wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? It just wasn't like getting me moving, I guess. So the next jobs I got into were all mostly like distribution and logistics type deals. So I was like a merchandiser for a couple of years, and I felt like that was like a demanding job at that time, where it kept me moving compared to what I was doing prior. So I really enjoyed doing that, because I also wasn't like stuck in one setting. I was able to drive the company vehicle and go out to different locations to service the stores, and I really enjoyed that. I still had that face-to-face interaction with the store employees, so I still had some of that action, I guess you can say, but it also involved some physical work, so I really enjoyed that. When I got into warehouses, I was actually a supervisor at 2 separate warehouses, and I kind of enjoyed the idea of being able to train people to do a job. And I felt like if I can show someone how to produce something, again, going back to like serving people food or making people happy just by servicing them, then I was like, this is kind of similar to that. Different, same but different, you know what I mean? So I decided to do that. And the cool thing is about what I learned from hospitality is, especially being in front of people and, you know, the guest is always right type deal or customer is always right, I was able to handle a lot of, I want to say, like pressure from having to deal with people, like good and bad. So it's not always good, as people in the service industry know. It's not always good. And I felt like that type of experience helped me out with the logistics part of it. I felt like I was able to be more calm in situations that just popped up all of a sudden. I was like, okay, like I know how to handle this. Like I've handled these type of situations before, different environments, but same but different. You know what I mean? So I did that for, I think, almost 6 years. Did 6 years in logistics, and I started getting into fitness and nutrition. No, it may not look like it, right? At one point I was doing pretty damn good, but just hold on. I ended up getting into fitness and nutrition a lot. So I decided to apply at a supplement shop, and I was like super grateful, hella grateful that the job I specifically chose, or the location I chose, I actually had some really good people who knew what they were talking about. So they knew the like supplements, what to take to help you out with this, to help you out with that. So since I was at that moment in that type of like mindset, I was like, I really want to learn this. Like I really want to train people. Again, servicing people. I feel like I keep going back to servicing people, man. I don't know what it is. I just really enjoy seeing people happy. I really do. I don't know. I don't have an explanation. I just really enjoy seeing people happy. So I felt like being able to train people to literally transform their lives would be like amazing. So I actually ended up getting my personal training certificate. I thought, I was like, oh shit, this is dope. I can train people and I can do this. I was wrong. I was one of those guys who got a certificate and I was like, oh, because I have a certificate that I paid for and I took classes for to show that I can do this and I can help people. Like, this is dope. This is awesome. I can do this. That certification lasted 2 years and I trained 0 people. 0. I was more involved with the nutrition side than the fitness side. And like, again, I really wanted to help people, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the whole fitness part down in regards to explaining to people what different movements do. I was very, believe it or not, nervous to tell people how certain things work, even though I know, like, how is that possible considering your background? I don't know. I think the biggest fear I had about that was like, I'm gonna run into someone who knows more than me. And I'm the trainer. Like I should be the one that should be helping you, not the other way around, right? But then there's that saying, if you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're wrong. But that's where I was at. Like I wanted to be able to teach people and I couldn't do that even with that damn certificate. So I got into nutrition. I actually ended up getting my own, or starting my own meal prep business. And it was decent. Like I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have like a lot of customers. So remember going back to wanting to open up my own business? I opened up my own business, just not what I expected. I ended up opening up my meal prep business where I was able to cook meals, you know, I mean, for individuals who wanted to stay like in that healthy track of eating. I was counting people's macros and whatnot in regards to what I was putting. I had like preset meals. Like I wasn't cooking for them like, oh, what do you want? I'll cook it for you. Make sure it's healthy. No, like I had a preset of meals that they would choose from every week. And I thought it was awesome because I can change it. I would change the meals every single week. So there was like, I don't know, 30 to 40 meals in rotation. So actually, that's a lie, less than that, maybe like 20 some meals in rotation. But anyway, like it would take about a month and a half before you tasted the same thing. and I would do like special orders, like, hey, if you really want this meal, then just let me know. I'll cook it specifically for you, type deal, for after you order a certain amount of those meals. So it was fun. It was awesome, and I felt like that was definitely my calling. I'm like, cool, like I can cook, I can meal prep. And mind you, this wasn't all by myself. It was my partner did help me out like so freaking much with the cooking and the prep work and the delivering. So I really enjoyed that. And at the same time, I was also doing the supplement shop. So I was able to not only get to be familiar with supplement products, I was also able to be familiar with the nutrition side on the food side and what I can sell, I can help people. And I never saw myself as a salesman. My brother, on the other hand, offered me, I'm not sure if offer is the right word, but he was like, hey, if you want to do sales, man, you let me know. And I'm like, that's not me. Like, I can't do sales. It really isn't me. So I decided to just not take that route into sales, but then I got into the supplement shop, and that's all I was doing, was just selling product. But I was very honest with people. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I wouldn't just sell them stuff just to sell them stuff. Like, I would get people to come in and be like, oh, I want to buy some protein. It's like, I heard this brand is good. I'm like, really, man? A lot of protein is very similar to each other. Like, all you're changing is the taste and the type of protein. And if you're a fitness junkie or a fitness enthusiast, correct me if I'm wrong here. You got, let's see if I remember, you got whey protein, you have casein protein, and you have isolate protein. So it's just 3 different types of protein. And from what I understood, it was going to be how fast it was digested. That's what I understood. So as you can see, I'm talking more about this than all my other jobs, just because I really enjoyed this. So I would sell people like the most inexpensive thing, just because I'm like, hey, try this out, man. Like, let me know if it works, but try it out for at least 2 weeks or so. Like, don't just try it out for a day. It's like, this doesn't work. Like, that doesn't work like that. So anyway, I did the whole supplementing for about 3 years. And I started off as just like a salesperson, like sales rep, or if that's what they want to call their sales floor, whatever. And I ended up moving up to as an assistant manager, I think after the first 4 to 6 months, which was cool because I had management experience before. And I think I was like, okay, now I'm in the supplement industry, and this is how I can sell my meal prep business. So that's how it started. I was able to not only sell products, but when people would ask about eating, I'm like, if you are interested, I have my own meal prep company. Here's my business card. If you have any other questions, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you. So I thought that was awesome. Like, I had the best of both worlds. And after a while, that got kind of boring, because I really enjoyed the logistics and the distribution part of work, because it was physical work compared to non-physical, I guess is the best way to say it. And I really enjoy being on my feet. I enjoy moving. So being in the supplement shop, being able to walk around the whole store and help people, like, I really enjoyed being able to do that. Plus the people who were there, like, motivated the hell out of me to, before going in, we would go hit the gym and then go in for our shift. Like, I love having that crew around. It was awesome. And obviously we all had different lives, so we all go our separate ways. Still keep in contact with those guys. So if you guys ever see this, you guys know who you guys are. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Maddie. I loved working there, man. But anyway, going back to the meal prep business. Sorry, I'm like going into something else completely. Once I did that for 2.5 years, the supplement shop just wasn't working out for me anymore. And I had a buddy of mine who, well, he was a customer actually at that place. I even was selling meal preps to him. He came in one day and he's like, hey man, whenever you're ready for trucking, you just let me know. And he's brought it up to me plenty of times, and I always like, nah, I got kids at home, I got my partner, it's gonna be very difficult. I have a baby on the way. It'll be very difficult to do that. And then just when the supplement shop wasn't working out, he came in one day and he's like, so you ready for truck driving? And I got to thinking, I was like, honestly, man, I was like, what's the pay like? And he didn't give me a breakdown. The first thing he said was, I've been at this for about 4 to 5 years, I want to say at that time. And he's like, and I can easily clear 100,000. I was like, whoa. One thing I didn't tell you guys was that when I was working a logistics company, I was also working at the supplement company at the same time. Both of them were full-time jobs. So I was still doing physical work, and I was doing this retail work, which I enjoyed. But doing both of them and hardly being home, let me get there first, hold on, and hardly being home, and not even clearing that much, not even getting close to clearing that much, like that really got me thinking. So I told him, I was like, you know what, dude? Would you mind doing me a favor? He's like, yeah, what you got? Super cool guy, man. Super cool guy. I was like, hey, talk to my partner for me, man. I was like, talk to her, talk to us about how this trucking industry works. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I was in middle school, seeing trucks drive by, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a truck driver when I grow up. And that was the last time I ever thought about it until this gentleman came in and kept telling me about it. So that happened. He spoke to my partner, said, look, we're out 6 days a week, but he's home for a 34-hour reset. He's like, depending on the route he's given and how I'm gonna train him, like I'm gonna make sure he runs hard, he can come to you like an extra day sometimes, depending on the route he gets. And she actually really enjoyed that. My son was just born, maybe months, man, 3 to 4 months maybe. And I was like, you know what, dude, let me shadow you for a week. Like, let me roll with you for a week. And sure enough, I went with him, went to Wyoming for the first time ever. Never left my city, never. That's a lie, I left twice. California, Texas, Mexico, that's about it, 3 times. But anyway, aside from that, I never left. I didn't go anywhere else. I didn't know how to travel. I still don't know how to travel, to be honest. If it wasn't for this job, I would not be traveling. I gotta change that. Anyway, went to Wyoming, was able to see a lot of things I've never seen before, like on the journey over there. And I really enjoyed it. We unload our own trailers, so I really enjoyed that he was able to unload our trailers. So like we have our downtime when we're driving, and then we have our physical time when we're unloading twice a week. And I really enjoyed that. So I said, screw it, dude, let's do it. So I was in school for about 3 weeks, got my CDL. First off, I had to take my test, I think 3 times, like the ones you take at the DMV, because I struggle with taking tests. I get anxiety when taking tests. I can't help it. I can't explain it. I just do, and it really sucks. So it took me 3 times to pass that damn thing, but I passed it. All right. Went to school for 3 weeks, got my CDL. The same guy who told me to get into trucking actually became my mentor. So he picked me up from school, and because we were from the same place, thankfully we were able to go back home. So I was able to be home every weekend instead of, I've heard some people are out months at a time, unfortunately, when they're training because their mentors aren't in the same place, same city, whatnot. So I got very lucky. But I was in that truck with him for about a month, and it's funny because one day I told my coworkers at the supplement shop, I said, hey, remember I told you guys that we never want to piss off so-and-so? He's like, oh yeah, we would hate to see him mad. Like, yeah, I made him mad. So he yelled at me when I was learning how to park. And he didn't necessarily yell at me. I called him out. I'm like, dude, why are you always yelling at me? And just messing around. And he's like, I'm not yelling at you. He's like, I want to make sure you're able to hear me over the engine. I was like, okay. But I felt like he was yelling at me, I swear to you. But yeah, so this is where I'm at now. I enjoy it. As I said before, I don't enjoy it because I'm away from my family. This is only temporary though. Like, I'm not looking to stay in this over the road or dedicated type stuff for too long. I'm really not. Maybe I'll find something local soon, or maybe I just might get out of trucking entirely and do something different. Maybe go back to opening up the meal prep business. Oh, I forgot about the meal prep business. Completely forgot about it. What happened to it? I closed it down. After a year of being in this industry, I had to close it down because it was just beginning to be too much, to the point where, like, I would get home from trucking and then go straight into meal prepping food and then delivering. And then as soon as I was done, I'll have the afternoon off, one afternoon off, and then one afternoon off, and then I would have to go back to trucking. So it lasted a year while I was doing this, so that was good. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's all my work experience. So I might have left a couple things out that I don't think I can remember, so maybe it's irrelevant. But this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at in my current... My camera ended up dying. It overheated because the podcast is going on for too long. So I'll just go ahead and end it there. If you guys have any questions or anything you guys would like to hear about, anything, I'm open to ideas. So feel free to let me know what y'all would want to hear me talk next. If not, I'll come up with something for the next episode. So this has been Recorded Between Miles, and I'll catch you between the next miles.